Hi, everybody. My name is Maria KOROLOV, and this is the MetaStellar YouTube channel. And with me today is AMIRA LOUTFI, our reviews editor. Hey, AMIRA, or wherever over here. It's hard to tell with Zoom where people are. All right. So every Friday, Amira and I read the top 10 free sci-fi and fantasy books on Amazon. Or we try to. We don't always get through much of these books because, well, we don't have time. And sometimes we love the books and we come back and finish them later. And there is at least one on today's list that I will definitely be coming back and finishing this holiday during this holiday break. So I'm looking forward to that. And so today we have space aliens, we have lots and lots of witches, and we have disturbingly sexy Christmas elves. So we'll get to all that. Let's get started. So the first book is Space Colony 1, and it is a box set of the first 3 books in a series. And there are colonists. They're going to a distant planet on a generation ship. Some people are cryogenically frozen. The rest basically live and die in the ship. When they get there, they meet other humans who left after they did because technology has improved. And there's local wildlife trying to kill them. So things happen. In theory, this is my kind of book. In practice, I didn't really get caught up with the main characters or the stakes that were involved. And some of the stuff in there didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, I really hate books about farming on alien planets. Because why would you go to an alien planet and ship humans there at great expense and not ship modern farming equipment? That just boggles the mind. All right, so that's like one of my least favorite sci-fi tropes, and this book had it. So and I've got lots of books on my reading shelf, so I can afford to be picky. So I am going to pass on this one. And I also read the next book, Cal's Fate. Here it is, and it's the first 2 books in the Terry Stack space opera series. And this also has space aliens in it and humans on foreign planets. And again, in theory, this is a book I would like. In practice, the evil aliens are a little too over the top. The nice aliens are a little too kind and kind of dumb. And the human who may or may not be a good guy, who's not the protagonist of the book, one of the good aliens is, seems kind of shady. So I don't really like any of the characters. So I'm going to pass on this one, even though, I mean, I look at the cover and it's like, this is my kind of book, but it wasn't. All right. Next up, Smoke and Mirrors, which is the first of 7 books in the Visions of Darkness trilogy. It's urban fantasy. The second book's also free today. So check that out if this is the kind of thing you're interested in. This is a young adult book about a journalism intern with a tragic past. Turns out that she has some like supernatural abilities. And the book starts a little slowly for me. She's done a routine kind of human interest fluff piece assignment that turns into something more. The book's description promises that we'll be seeing prehistoric demons and a supernatural bounty hunter, but I didn't get that far into the book because I was too annoyed with the main character. She seemed a little spoiled and kind of annoying. So I don't have patience for young people in general. So I sometimes I like young adult books, but in this case, there wasn't enough there to get me excited And so maybe I shouldn't have taken all these young adult books today because I am not the target audience for them. And speaking of annoying young people, this brings me to this series of books. This is 6 books out of a 12-book series in the Chronicles of Kerrigan. And it's set in a British boarding school. And for people with magical abilities, it's a kind of Twilight meets Harry Potter kind of book. And I've kind of grown out of Harry Potter, and I've always hated Twilight. So not my kind of thing. But the author is a New York Times and USA Today bestselling author. So if this is your kind of book, you get 6 free books today. So Merry Christmas. Yeah. Let's see. The next book is of Beauty and the Beast. First of 7 books in the Daughters of Evil romantic fantasy series. And basically they're rewritten fairy tales, which is a genre that's been popping up on these lists lately, but it's not my kind of thing. Here, an evil witch adopts 7 girls in order to use them to get revenge on the 7 kingdoms that wronged them. And in this story, one of these daughters is being married off to one of the princes of one of these kingdoms. And neither one of them wants to be married. They've never seen each other. They both are predisposed to hate each other. They don't even see each other at the wedding ceremony itself. She's wearing a veil and she doesn't even want to look at him. She doesn't want to be there. And at the reception, they bump into each other, not knowing who the other person is, and kind of flirt and start making out. Even though the prince thinks that she's there to kill him, and she thinks she's there to kill him to get revenge for her adopted mom. So clever premise. I like the execution of it. I'm not usually fond of romances or of books where somebody starts out as the enemy and then it becomes like a lover, but a lot of people do. And this book kind of was like appealing and kind of pulled you in. You want to know what happens next. I want to know what happens next to these people. And I don't want to know, but I do want to know. And next is the book that I'm definitely going to finish. So this is the first of 5 books in the Semi-Automatic Sorceress urban fantasy series. The other books are $5 each, but they're all in Kindle Unlimited. So I have a subscription, so I can read them for free. Excellent. The 5th book isn't out yet, but it's going to be released in January. So the protagonist is a sorceress. She runs a motorcycle. She's got 2 guns that talk. And magic users have gone public 5 years before. And the magical organization she's part of loans her to local law enforcement to help deal with special threats. Like in the opening, there's a drug kingpin who's managed to get his hands on some magical weapons. I love this. She's snarky. She's kick-ass. She's got an awesome costume. Her motorcycle has an awesome disguise. It's just like a really fun read. I love books about women who kill people. So this is my genre. Next is a book that you actually read a while ago, An Ignorant Witch. Let me show it to you. So here's the cover in big format. And so, AMIRA, what did you think of this book?
Well, I still haven't gotten around to finishing it. But I do remember it pretty well. I think that it was a bit slow and the tone was dark and cute. And it's also a cozy mystery. So it's basically about a young witch who is helping her friend explore her family's past. And the mystery involves some pretty angry ghosts. I do remember that part.
All right. Do you plan to finish it?
No. too slow. Like I really remember like I enjoyed it, but I felt like it was just too slow.
Um, I do like cozy mysteries. Is it funny and cute?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, that's my sweet spot. When I'm
Mhm.
not reading books about women who kill people, I like cozy, kind of cute and adorable mysteries about bakers with magical powers, that kind of thing. Magical cupcakes. Okay, so next up is this book here. Let me like feature it so you can see this cover. It looks like a Hallmark movie poster, doesn't it?
Mhm.
And it is a cute kind of rom-com Christmas story. A woman works in a department store. She's wants to go home to her family for Christmas, and on Christmas Eve her car breaks down and she can't go, and she's out there swearing in her car, trying to deal with her relatives on the phone when a sleigh crashes in the back parking lot of her apartment building. And in the sleigh are three hot elves, not born elves, like adopted, kind of recruited elves. So they're human guys. They're man-sized, and they are very, very hot. And the three of them like doing everything together. And as she takes them around the city in order to help them find the spirit of Christmas so they can get their sleigh running again, because they're helping Santa deliver presents and they have to get back out on the road, they flirt. And then she makes out with all of them. And then like it starts getting hot and heavy. This is an extremely sexy book. So if you love the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, but wished he was like hotter and sexier, and there were three of him, this is your book. um, it is fun. I'm sorry, it is just fun. Um, it's a standalone romantic fantasy. The author also has a young adult paranormal romance series, and it's just a fun Christmas read. And I don't want to like it, but I kind of do.
Mhm.
And you read the next two books. So first, Claiming Her Mates by Dia Cole. The first three books in a Claiming Her Mates reverse harem paranormal romance series. And it started with the Sleighs, also reverse harem. So one woman, several guys. What'd you think of Claiming Her Mate?
I thought it was fantastic.
Really?
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So as you said, it's a reverse harem romance, but it's also kind of a zombie thriller. There is a virus that they're calling the canine virus, and the vaccine for that virus is turning people into cannibals. So basically zombies,
So it's
right?
a
And there are
lose-lose
the two,
situation. Either the disease gets you or the vaccine does.
yeah, and the vaccine, yeah, so it kills them, and then they come back to life looking for, people to eat. And our protagonist has a very powerful paranormal ex, and he wants her back. And he got three of his henchmen to go bring her back to him in the middle of all this, mayhem, right? And his henchmen, and okay, so I think the plot here is, um, this woman, she's very lonely. She's falling in love with these three men, and she's not allowed to be with them, and they're also not allowed to be with her because her ex is claiming her. And so that's like the tension that's like pulling them apart, but then they're also really attracted to each other. And all the while they're going through all this like tension as they're trying to bring her back to her ex. Um, they're also trying to create a vaccine for the virus,
Good
but
for
one that,
them.
yeah, yeah,
A vaccine that works, that doesn't turn people into zombies.
exactly. So yeah.
All right.
Um,
Okay, so the next book is Heir of Ruin. And let me pull it up so you can see that. Here it is. It's the first of 4 books in the Fae of Saintland's Fated Mates fantasy romance series. What'd you think?
Okay, so this is a story. It's also a romance, and apparently a reverse harem romance. Although I'm kind of having trouble imagining like how the reverse harem element is going to play in to the story. It takes place in the Vassal Empire, which is led by a very cruel woman, and this woman has been using her niece's magical abilities to squash opposition, and eventually the niece runs away and she joins forces with the queen's greatest enemy, right? Who's a good guy. And this guy, you know, he's opposing her plots and her plans in like a bunch of different ways. He also has a team, and so they get into all these like creative, fun like battles, trying to like, you know, outdo her, or not outdo her, but like to thwart her plans, right? So one thing that I found, okay, the most interesting thing about this story, other than the opposition to the queen, is the magic system. It seems to me that there are like multiple magic systems going on in this story, and they are a pleasure to read about and a pleasure to, for me, a pleasure to like imagine and to read about. So first, it seems like there's an elemental magic system going on. One of the characters is using earth, and another is using gold to fight. One of them is using mind control. And there's also a very ancient type of magic that is powered by saints.
So like she's threw everything in there.
Yeah, she threw a lot of things in there. And also the protagonist and the protagonist and her aunt and like her family, they have hidden wings. They have wings and they hide it with magic.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just like a lot. I feel like she just wanted to throw a lot of cool stuff in there, and she did. It's pretty good.
All right. So that's today's 10 books. Which one are you going to read first?
I don't think I'm going to be continuing with either of the ones that I read. What about you?
Well, I'll be really embarrassed if I read the books about the sexy elves, but I'll definitely be reading the Southwest Nights book about the Semiautomatic Sorceress, because that's just fun. All right, so that's today's list. If you like this kind of content, please support our channel by hitting the like and the subscribe button. We do this every single Friday. Now, the magazine MetaStellar, we publish original fiction, essays, reviews like this, and we're supported by our Patreon supporters, and all the donations go to pay to original fiction. So please support us. All the links are in the description box below, as is the link to the full article with our full reviews, and to all of our other MetaStellar Free Fridays articles. What do you think of these books? Have you read any of them or tried to read them? Let us know in the comments below. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye.